You recognize that tune, and you know it's time for Relics Radio. This is a family-friendly show, so the entire family can join us as we talk metal detecting and relic hunting. You can call into the show at 270-495-0315 or join in the chat and post any comments or questions you might have, and we'll get to as many of them as we can. You're listening to Relics Radio of Southern Kentucky and Middle Tennessee. And you are listening live to Relics Radio. It is December the 27th of 2018, and we are about to sweep this year right out the door and start a brand new one. So glad to be back with you tonight, and we've got, as we have promoted, a very, very special show tonight, don't we, Jeff?
We sure do. It's going to be great, and like you said, we've swept this year under the mat, and it's almost gone.
It is, but I tell you what, we have got an exciting 2019 coming up. We're not going to be able to tell you everything about 2019 tonight, but we are going to tell you a little bit, and then we will pull the curtain back on 2019 next Thursday night on the show, and I guarantee you, you are going to want to be with Relics Radio in 2019. And I tell you what they're going to have to do, and you might as well, guys, start right now. You're going to have to be a follower. And so if you've kind of drug your feet and you haven't done that, you go to Relics Radio on Spreaker.com and hit that follow button, and we will we'll see your name following there. And there's going to be a lot of prizes and a lot of giveaways this next year. But you're going to have to be a follower in order to get in on those gifts. Now, you won't tonight. We're going to give something away tonight, and hopefully you are a follower. You're going to have to be on the show, and that's another thing, isn't it, Jeff? We're not going to give anything away if the people are not on the show.
That is right. You have to be live on the show when we give stuff away to be able to get it. So I know it took us, 2 weeks to give away a metal detector?
It took us 2 weeks to give away a metal detector, and then we drew about 3 names last week before we finally gave it away. And by the way, we got a picture of Malcolm today with that metal detector that he got, and the smile said it all, I tell you.
It really did. He had a big smile on his face, and I'm glad it helped his Christmas a little bit.
Yeah, I am too, and thank you, Dennis, for putting that, sharing that picture with us, because that's what it's all about. I mean, that's the future of metal detecting, and that's kind of what we want to be involved in here, and do as much as we can to encourage those young people to get metal detectors and what have you.
That is right, and we'd like to thank Tim Henderson, too, for giving us the metal detector to give away. So,
well, he gave us a break. He didn't give it to us, but he
gave us a break.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. I still had to write him a check the other day, but he did give us a break. And
I thought you said that was going to bounce.
Well, I don't know that I'd say that, because Tim's in the chat. No, just kidding.
Yeah, I seen him.
Just kidding you, Tim. You go ahead and cash that anytime you want to. And if the money ain't there, it'll be there in a day or two. I tell you what, we're just 2.5 rednecks with a metal detector, ain't we?
That's right. So,
how many people we got in the chat here tonight? Didn't mean to butt in on you.
Yeah, the chat's moving pretty quick. Right now I see Scott, Dennis, Ken, Bill, Roland, got Jeff Gibbs in the house, got Ed, Finding America, Nick, Ron, Dennis, and I'll probably say a couple of these twice. Got Matt Purdue in the house. Got Celeste in the house, Ohio Relic Hunter. Seen Missouri Mike. There's Mr. Tim Henderson from Murray Branch Outdoors. Got Jason S., Bill Hayes.
And we had a good hunt with those guys down there. What day was that? Saturday? Yeah, that's Saturday, wasn't it?
I believe it. Yeah, it was a Saturday.
Yeah,
and we did have a great hunt.
Yeah, and I've got one video that I edited out today. It'll still be a couple of weeks before that comes out, and we're going to make 2 videos out of that, and hopefully get back together again this week. But man, we had a big storm come through here a while ago, didn't we?
Yes, we did, and I drove by the site we were looking at, and I mean it's pretty muddy. So, and then
have they moved anything though?
Yeah, they have. They've moved maybe half of it, and of course I believe they've moved half of the pile of dirt to the front of the bank and smoothed it out real nice. So we wouldn't be able to get in that part of it, but we could still get in what's left of the big dirt pile.
And we're talking about the infamous dirt pile where we just went in there and ransacked all of those Civil War relics here. I guess that was last year, wasn't it?
It was. I know it had 3 plates in it and bunches of different kind of bullets. So
yeah,
and there maybe Seven can find his plate now. So.
Yeah, the one you pulled out from in front of me. Yeah. And talking about 2.5 rednecks, of course, I'm one redneck, digging with 7. Jeff is the other redneck, Tennessee Jeff. But we've got half redneck on here with us tonight. What's going on, Mark Hoover?
Hey, guys. How are you tonight?
We're doing great.
Going good?
Yep.
Just tell us one thing, Mark. How's the weather down there?
Well, it's getting a little chilly down here. It got down to 65 today.
I seen the forecast for Orlando the other day, and I was like, man, I said, you'd still be wearing shorts.
I tell you what, though, you've got all of that summer and everything that's coming up, and the humidity and all of that. But we brought half redneck on tonight because he's kind of our representative, our business representative, or our manager, or whatever you want to call him. He
just tells us what to do.
He tells us what to do, sure does. And I talk to him 3 or 4 days a week, anytime that something comes up. And I asked him, I've been asked on a couple of shows to be a guest, and I reach out to Mark and I said, can I go on that show? Sure, go on that show. And then I called him a day or 2 later and I said, can I go on that show? Nope, you can't go on that show. So he's our guy. But this is going to be a special announcement show here tonight, and we've got so many things that we want to announce, don't we, Mark?
Yeah, we do, Loy, and I want to announce something right now. I wanted to tell everybody that I've been working really hard on how to talk like a redneck, just so that I won't be a half redneck for the rest of my life.
It's just something you're born with, I believe. Because I'm pretty sure so. I'm a bigger redneck than both of you. So,
well, I'll tell you one thing that worked for me is, how when you get up in the morning and your eyes are all kind of blurry, and you don't have to be as old as I am for that to happen. I mean, you're just kind of stumbling around. I went into the bathroom there, and I went to brush my teeth and got my toothbrush out and got the tube out and took the lid off of it and smeared it on the toothbrush there, and set in to brushing my teeth. I pulled out triple antibiotic ointment and brushed my teeth with it.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, no.
And I talk like a redneck all day long.
I bet you did.
Worse than
I just want to...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
It's worse than eating green persimmons. I tell you what, I told somebody, I said, they were talking about injuries. How many injuries did you have as a kid? I said, well, I broke my arm whenever I was about 7 years old. And they said, well, how'd you do that? I said, well, I broke it eating breakfast. And they said, broke it eating breakfast? How'd you do that? I said, I fell out of the persimmon tree. So go ahead.
Well, look, I was just going to I was just going to say, how was your Christmas?
It was great. How about you, Jeff?
Oh, it was great, man. I ended up, I didn't think I was that nice, but I ended up getting pretty good stuff. And, of course, after I opened it up, Jennifer's like, yeah, I text 7 on this one and ask his opinion, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Got a new laptop for the Relics Radio channel, and got a drone that we're going to have to take back. Something's wrong with the remote control on it, but we'll get it set up where we can do little videos with it.
Oh my goodness, 2.5 rednecks with a drone. Now that's a recipe for disaster.
so that remote control doesn't work anymore after you throw it against a tree, huh?
No, not anymore. I tried to piece it back together as good as I could, so I'm sure they'll take it back.
About all I did was eat, and I put a picture on that. I think we fed 45 people all together, and
wow.
All family, and we just had a ball. I mean, it was great. But Mark, we're going to let you kind of kick things off because you've been handling all of the business side of this with our advertisers and everything. So what are we looking at? As much as you can tell. I know that we can't tell everything until next week's show, but tell us what you can tell about our relationship with our advertisers.
Yeah, it's a great question, and I am very excited to tell you guys that we're going to continue working with Tim Henderson from Murray Branch Outdoors, and Tim and I have had some great conversations, and there's going to be some amazing giveaways. You're not going to believe what he's going to give away next year. And so we're excited about what we're working on together with that. And then Detectives, Ken and Mark Guthrie, they've done a great job of supplying T-shirts and hoodies and all kinds of gear for the metal detectorists. And they're going to be a part of the program again. And American Digger Magazine, they're going to stay a part of it as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep the same advertisers, but we're going to step it up a little bit in terms of the giveaways, the quality of the giveaways, how many we're going to do. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And so I'm just excited to be a part of that and be able to work with them and work with you and handle all that for you guys. Yeah,
and we appreciate you doing all of that because, it's a full-time job. I was talking to Heath Jones today, and by the way, Heath is on chat here with us tonight. He made one of them old man remarks on Facebook about me, and everybody kind of piled on about what kind of. He said I like to listen to music whenever I'm editing videos. He said 90s dance music, and he wanted to know what kind of music there was back then. Whenever I was a young man, and I told him, I said the only music around whenever I was a young man was Egyptian chants. And I said, I may pull one out on you guys if you keep doing that with me, and everything. But now then they got a new thing now, and that's the pie in the face at the Mexican restaurant. And so I've seen some of them saying something about that here tonight as well. If you hadn't seen that, go to Relics Radio. I mean, they ambushed me big time.
Oh, they sure did. You was telling me about it, and then, of course, told me to go watch the video, and I was just thinking of just a little bit of whipped cream, but no, they got you good. They snuck up behind you, and, I mean, everything. And I'm sure everybody was laughing about it, too, at the table.
Yeah, and I don't know who it was here. I was talking about getting that triple antibiotic ointment out and brushing my teeth with it. Somebody said it's better than Preparation H. It sure is. I had a friend one time, and he had a problem, where he needed some of that, and he went and got some suppositories, and 2 or 3 days later, he's still having the same problem. I said, "Didn't you get into that Preparation H?" He said, "Yeah." Got the suppositories, and he said, "I'm just going to have to live with them hemorrhoids." And I said, "Why is that?" And he said, "That's the awfulest tasting stuff I've ever had." And I said, you didn't eat it, did you?" And he said, "Well, I read the direction. It said insert and let melt, so I just stuck it under my tongue." Only in the South. Only in the South does that happen. What other good news have we got for this year, Mark?
Well, unfortunately, I got some good. Well, look, I got some good news, and unfortunately, I got some bad news tonight.
Oh, me. So early in the show.
Well,
what is
well,
that?
Let me tell you the good news.
Oh, okay. Tell us the good news.
Is I was trying to line up a guest for you tonight, and I couldn't line anybody up, so I got KG and Ringy to agree to come on to the show tonight.
Right.
So that's the good news. You want to know what the bad news is?
Yeah, I want to know
bad news.
What is the bad news?
I can't find them anywhere. I don't know where they're at.
Man,
they sent me
I don't know how to get them on the show.
Well, they sent me a promo today to put out, and so I'm a little perplexed about that myself.
Well, I don't know what to do. I guess you're going to have me for a guest for the whole time.
They're not out hunting somewhere, are they?
With those two guys, you don't know where they're at. I don't know, no clue where those two guys are at. I've been looking all over for them for the last hour, trying to call them, and I have no clue where those two guys are.
Well,
they said they would be on the show. But they said they'd be on the show. They gave us the promos and everything. But you know what? It was funny. I saw something today that I thought, I don't know if a lot of people know that they have a shovel. They have their own shovel. And I'm going to tell you something. That is the perfect shovel for every redneck out there. And did you know that shovel that they have, not only is it a good shovel, but it has a bottle opener. Did you know that?
Now, that's a redneck shovel right there.
Yeah, I need me one. Sure.
A digging shovel with a bottle opener on it. Now, what do you think of next? I'll tell you, that may be where they're at. That may be why we can't get a hold of them. They've been using the bottle opener or something other.
I think they've been using that shovel too much.
It is in between Christmas and New Year's, so you never know what's going on.
And I don't know what we said. I don't know what we said there a while ago. I'm going to break in as I see things on chat because everybody else has already seen it, so I can say it. Paul Forsyth said his wife just peed her pants. I guess that was over the suppository thing. I don't know, but the same thing happened to our oldest daughter. And she's in her 30s and a school teacher. And Mark Hoover sent us this little video of a lizard. And he said, have you ever seen one of these, And that well, it ain't a little lizard. It's a great big one. And it's crawling around and you're looking at the video and all of a sudden it jumps into the camera. And then whoever was holding the camera, they scream and fall back. And it did startle you. So I sent it to Andrea, our oldest daughter, and she said, I dropped my phone and I peed my pants and I hate you.
He got me too, Seven. It was, I screamed like a little girl. And then, it looked like Godzilla by the time it got up to that screen.
Oh, man.
I said it to Barbara Connell. She told me it bit her on the nose.
Bit her on the nose. Oh, me.
That's what they call a monitor lizard.
Yeah, that's what it is. I tell you what, we are going to go to an early break here tonight. And let us run this commercial, and we'll be right back with you in just about a minute and a half.
Hey, Seven, we's looking good in our new Relics Radio T-shirts.
Yeah, Ken and Mark Guthrie of DetectiveTees.com done brung them to us.
Yep. And they makes other shirts, too.
Yeah, boy. DetectiveTees.com can handle tees for your club, hunt, or any other promotion folks may have.
They even got the Wide Pride shirts.
Yeah, them boys does the manatee crawl.
Yeah, scooting on their bellies.
That's what I said. The manatee crawl.
Looks like slugs eating jelly.
So whether you hunt horizontal or vertical, tell the folks where they need to go, TJ.
www.detectives.com.
And by the way, Detectives is going to give away one of those Relics Radio hoodies tonight to some lucky person that is in the chat and listening to the show. Don't know what we're going to do with that contest, how we're going to work that, but we will. But while we were in the commercial break, we got a call that come in. Who we got on the line?
Yeah, I just wanted to call in and find out, if the ringmaster was going to be on here today. This is KG.
He is supposed to be. Mark is still trying to find him. What's going on, KG?
Not much, guys. Not much.
Yeah.
How's it going, buddy?
Oh, been busy, been real busy. But we got to make time for you guys. It's one of our favorite shows of all time.
Well, we appreciate that and appreciate the promo that you guys sent us today. And we shared that around, and it's done good, I guess, because we've got several people that are in the chat tonight and on the show. And I think your partner in crime is on the line right now. What's going on, Ringy?
Oh, not much. What's going on? Somebody kept texting me and saying, hey, these guys are wondering where you are. And I'm like, who? Never heard of these guys.
we thought y'all used your shovels with the bottle opener too much today, so
I've only used my shovel once this evening so far.
And by the way, don't give away the name of that shovel. We may that may be our trivia question tonight, where we give away a Relics Radio hoodie is about that shovel. So glad to have you guys on the show tonight. You've got so many fans all over the country, and just delighted to have you guys with us tonight. I know how busy that you are, and to take out and be with us tonight. And I know that y'all made a phone call earlier tonight, and hats off to you for doing that.
You betcha, buddy. Anything for a fan or a friend.
Yeah, that's great. And then of course, I remember hunting with you guys. It was I believe it was Brandy Rock. We hunted together in Culpeper. It was me and Nugget Noggin and you guys, and we ended up hitting I believe it was a firing range, and of course we found several bullets that day.
Oh, in the fog?
Yeah. Fog in the rain. I think we headed over there later. Yeah, because I think you and Nugget tipped us off, so we went over there and cleaned up the stragglers you guys missed.
Well, that's good. It started raining, and of course you guys. Of course, I couldn't hunt with the GPX because it was raining, and then of course you guys was out there with Garrett's, and y'all was tearing it up, man.
It was fun. We need to do that again.
They wasn't anybody going as crazy as Nugget Noggin was, though, was they? I tell you what, he was like a man on a mission in that firing range.
Yeah, I think he tore it up pretty good that day.
I don't know how many bullets he found, but it was a sack full. I doubt that, as little as he is, I doubt he could walk out. He probably had to make 2 trips to get all his bullets out of there.
Yeah.
I think he's
probably falling off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think he said something about going to the truck and emptying his pouch once or twice.
Hey, guys, I know everybody would like to know, how was it that you guys got together and started hunting as a team, and then progress a little bit further and tell us about how the Digger television show got started and all that?
All right. I could probably tell a shorter version. Tim likes to drag stuff out for a month. Yeah.
Well, I was going to tell him the short version. I was going to tell him the short version, how we met in Vegas, where I was trying out for the Follies, and he happened to walk into the casino there and just saw me and said, "Hey, you want to go metal detecting?" And I said, "Sure." And that was
that. All right, now I'll tell the real version here.
Okay.
All right. Well, it's funny because Tim was out in his backyard with an old White's, and I just met the guy, and I living in Montana, I've always, I've heard of the treasure around there in the old mining camps and how people used to hide their money during the Depression. And I talked with Tim one time about getting a metal detector, and he had an old White's under his bed there, and he went out in his yard and found a couple of coins. So we ended up, talking and ended up buying a couple of identical metal detectors. I think they were GTI 2500s. The old Garrett ones that would talk to you,
Yeah.
And then we went out. The first trip out, I remember I found a 1904 Barber Diamond. I was just amazed that there were, holy cow, I mean, there's stuff like this in the ground. So like Tim and I, we both get overboard with everything we do. So we thought, why don't we just form a company? We'll start making DVDs. There wasn't very many DVDs out there. So we made, extreme metal detecting videos. That's what we call them. And they were raw, wild, and crazy, But if we thought we had something good in the hole, we'd grab a camera, we would film it, and then we would freak out, and it was real reactions. So we started putting YouTube videos out. We made 6 DVDs. We started putting YouTube videos out. We were hoping that maybe somebody would, maybe see our video and, come and buy one of our DVDs, They need therapy after watching them, but that's their problem. but we put them out there, and that's when Gold Rush and Storage Wars, all them shows were coming around. And we started putting them out there on YouTube, and then pretty soon we had all these production companies calling us from all over the country. And then we ended up going with a company out of Bethesda, Maryland, and then what they do is they just came in and they filmed us, and then they made sizzler reels, which they send to different networks. If you think you're just going to go to a network and say, hey, I have a great idea, they just laugh again and throw you out the door. But so you kind of got to go through a production company. So that's what we did, and the production company pitched us to a bunch of different places, and then National Geographic liked what they saw, so we ended up making two trial episodes for National Geographic. They played them, and they did so well, then we ended up doing 18 for season 1, and season 2 and 3 we did 24 shows, and then season 4 we did I think 18 more, so we had a total of 66 shows in 4 years. But that's kind of the quick version of how we all got going.
Man, so KG, what actually got you into metal detecting? What was the first time you'd ever picked up a metal detector?
Being born and raised in Montana, I was a hunter and a fisherman, and I would be hiking through the mountains, and I would see all these old abandoned cabins and all these old ranches in the middle of nowhere and mining camps. And I knew everybody in the area. And I heard stories from all these old timers, and they were talking about, how people hid their money. In fact, I knew one guy that literally was deer hunting, and he came across this old log cabin that had fell over from time. And the eave of the cabin was split open, and there was a jar of silver coins exposed where one of the old timers had it hid up in the eave, and who knows, he could have got killed by Indians or just died of natural causes, but he never did get that money. And I'd hear stories like that, and that has always, been a part of me. And I've always been a hunter, so metal detecting fitted right in.
Man, that's pretty much the way I started. I was a big deer hunter and started watching Gold Rush, and I was like, well, man, that would be pretty neat. And then picked up a metal detector, trying to find gold. Next thing I know, I started finding flat buttons, and then that kind of got me into it. So what about you, Ringy?
What was the question?
What?
Put that shovel down.
Sorry, I had to use my shovel again real quick.
That's fine. When was the first time you picked up a metal detector? And then,
oh man, well, I remember the first time I saw a guy using one. It was in the 80s, and he went to the same high school as me, and he was a few years older. I think at this time he had graduated or something, but I recognized him, and I just went up and I said, "Oh, does that really work or whatever?" And he was just getting onto a signal. It was like one of the old Coinmaster 3000s. And he goes, "That's a silver quarter." And I go, "There's no way that's what that is." But he could tell because he'd been doing it for so long. And he handed me a shovel. He goes, "Go ahead, dig it up." And he just kept going. And sure enough, it was a silver quarter. And from that moment on, I was so hooked. And I started saving all my money and finally bought one for myself. And I used it for like one summer. I remember finding like a Franklin half and a silver quarter in the same hole in a churchyard. And then I was in school still, and then I got into a rock band and stuff and thought I was going to be the next Eddie Van Halen. So I never touched it again, until way later. And then I moved to Montana years later and, ran into George and that whole story he just told. And I really, at that point, my son was old enough, and stuff, so he was running around, and so I had a tiny bit of free time, and KG and I would go out every weekend and just run through the mountains and find what we could. It was just awesome.
And we got a caller on the line. Last four numbers are 4503. Who have we got?
My name is Mike.
Hey, Mike.
From Iowa.
Mike, welcome
Mike.
to the show.
How you guys doing?
You got a question for
Thank
KG or Ringy?
Yeah, just wondering, over the years, from traveling America and traveling Europe, how's the differences been as far as, whether it's exciting or tiring, or as things go from, staying in hotels or going from place to place?
Okay.
It was actually, it was, it wasn't as easy. It's you think it's all glamorous and you're out and all you're doing is digging holes and treasure hunting and stuff, but you're away from your family, and I got a wife and two daughters, and that, and Tim, he's got a son and all that, and but we're living out of our suitcase. We're in hotel room after hotel room. Some days we'll be in a hotel for 3 days, and then we'll switch to another hotel, and now you can't remember your room number. And that's not really a big problem, but it does get tiring, because in our show, we literally had to find something. If we didn't find nothing, we never had a show, and no matter what we found, it was never good enough for the producers. So we would be out there sun up to sundown, and it would get pretty brutal, and then when you go overseas, sometimes, like we were in Sicily about a month and a half ago, and we were literally awake for 32 hours straight just to get there. And then on the way back, we missed our flight to Rome, and all kinds of different things happened. And we were up for almost 40 straight hours then, the treasure hunting is incredible and awesome, and I shouldn't even complain, but that's, there's times where you're just kind of like, man, this is really brutal, but whatever.
Yeah, true. And one more question then. Difference, of course, between America and Europe is that Europe's got so much more history buried in the ground, and it seemed like from the stories that kind of followed that in Europe, you guys were a lot more famous or well thought of, where over here, we just don't have the items in the ground to seem like you made this huge discovery other than, various trinkets from only a few hundred years or less old. What was it like to be over there in other countries where people were thinking, man, these guys are cool because what they're founding? Was it more special to be over there?
I could barely contain myself from laughing. It took me that long to figure out who's on the phone. For those of you who don't know who's on the phone, if you go back and listen to your EMD, Extreme Metal Detecting DVDs, listen very closely to the narrator.
Sunday. Fairbanks, Texas. George White, Tim Sayer, taking an exciting journey of metal detecting. It's Saturday. All your chores are done. But tomorrow is Anaconda Treasure Company presents.
I couldn't believe it. So funny. Well, that was actually a really intelligent question, believe it or not.
But these are true questions that I wonder about from your travels and everything. Because I know how much you guys traveled in America, and then you went to Europe, and just to see the lines of people signing up for autographs and stuff, I was really happy to see that in the newspaper article in Great Britain when you found that one Roman artifact. Just one of only like 6 and everything. So it was really cool.
Right. I guess it's hard to answer because there's a lot of people, especially on the East Coast, that are Civil War buffs. And even though that's not Roman or 2,000 years old, there's a huge following and people really collect that stuff heavily. And so there's a great appreciation for that. And at the same time, it's only, a couple hundred years old, some of that stuff. But you go to Europe and then you start finding stuff like George and I both looked at each other one day. I remember after, who knows how many times we've been to England or France or wherever we were, but we were detecting, we had a bag full of these coins, like that were medieval and old coins. And it's just like, I'm kind of tired of digging these up because, I haven't found anything silver or gold in the last 20 minutes, and it's like, and then you look at each other and you're like, geez, is it really that bad? We're that spoiled, that
I know, like true. People there. Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know there's archaeologists in Great Britain that will say that they can walk down to the Thames River at any time and find, pottery from Roman times, from old settlements. And we think,
and they can.
Well, how spoiled are you? Just think nothing of that, That's so common.
Everywhere to them. And to them, it's not that it's not special to them. There's tons of treasure hunters over there. Just look at Detector World. We just got back from England. People from everywhere were there, and we all had the same common interest, and everybody's thrilled to find stuff, even from World War II, even that's a collectible thing. And, heck, there's still people alive from that. So, it's
true.
It's all in your perspective.
Right. And about the crowds and the fans in Europe, it's pretty cool because a lot of places we go overseas, it's like we have way more fans, in like Europe than we do here. Like we went to Russia and we had a big event in Russia we went to, and there was 1,500 Russians, that showed up, to metal detect with us and basically to try to get us to drink all their vodka. But but it was crazy because you spend the entire day. Sometimes we have translators and sometimes we don't. And all day long for like 2 or 3 days, you're trying to communicate with somebody. You don't even speak their language. You pick up the gist of it. And when somebody finds something to show you, obviously you know what it is. But sometimes at the end of the day, you're just kind of mentally worn out because it's so frustrating not be able to just talk to them and understand what they're saying half the time. And but there's good people are good people. Like no matter where you are in the world, it's the same everywhere.
That's true. I tell you, of all the shows I've watched, it seems like the Russians were the most excited when you guys were there. It seems like they were most thrilled to be a part of that activities you guys were involved with. They made the big, the meal and the stew and all that stuff. And, that was the thing.
It was a great time there. Yeah, it definitely was. And, the thing that surprised me most about Russia is those guys seem to be more like us than anybody, which really surprised me. I always think of Russia as this big mysterious place, and you think of the Cold War or whatever, but those guys were all out there with we show up and they're all got all their 4-wheel drives out and they're stuck in the mud and, it's a big party with a campfire. And really the only difference between where we were and Montana was that instead of drinking beer, they were drinking vodka. That was it.
Alabama Russians, yeah. Well, listen, I gotta run, guys. I gotta run here,
okay.
But there's a couple of those questions I wanted to shoot by you because I never get to talk to you together very often, so I thought this would be a good time.
Yeah, thanks for calling.
Thank you, narrator.
Yep.
Thanks for the call, Mike.
Hey, thanks for the call, Mike.
Yep.
And we've got
very good, thank you.
We've got another caller on. The last 4 numbers are 4679. Who do we have?
Yeah, we got Philip Gaver from West Virginia.
Hey, Philip. Good to have you on tonight. You got a question for KG and Ringy?
I got 2. One, have they ever encountered any Viking-related items they've ever recovered?
Hey, good question.
If so, was it in the U.S. or was it in Europe?
We found stuff in Europe that they said that they have found at Viking sites before, but as far as like nailing it down and saying, yeah, this is from Vikings, not that I'm aware of. If we found something, I'm not aware of it being Viking, but they've said, we found stuff like that at Viking sites, but that's all I know. How about you, Tim?
Yeah, I can't say I have for 100% at all. Nobody's come up to me and said, yeah, that thing was from a Viking or whatever. But we've seen a lot of the stuff that they've dug up there, and it's pretty cool. And after looking at it, you kind of get a feel for what it looks like and all that. So I'm pretty sure that I have not.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I collect axes and stuff, and I'd be loved if I've seen so many on the internet of research, not people that's recovered them, but that been in the history and the design of them.
Right.
And I found an 18 broad axe that had a 13-inch blade on it that kind of resembled something of that era. And I just often wonder if anybody, since up Montana and Minnesota, I've often heard the Vikings were collected in around the Minnesota region at one time or another. And I don't know if there's any truth to it, but it's what I read. My next question is...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I found a Minnesota Viking football pin once, but I threw it away.
I don't think that counts, KG.
I know, buddy.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever think you'll be back on TV again?
Well, we don't know. As far as we know, we're not going to be back on, unless a production company picks us up. And there's always talk, and we're always in, meetings with them and stuff here and there. And it could happen, but maybe it will, maybe it won't. But right now, all we're doing is, trying to focus on getting our season 2 of Digging with KG and Ringy out, and we're just going to put it straight out on YouTube. So there'll be 7 or 8 shows there, and that'll start like in April or May. And, we've got some from the U.S., some from Europe, and then also a set 2 or 3 episodes that are going to be like 3 parts that are actually EMD7, this long-awaited mythical DVD that never came out, and it's got this really old footage from over 10 years ago, and it's hilarious. Mm-hmm. My hair's like jet black, and we're both super skinny, and it's just, so it'll be kind of interesting for people to see. But so as far as I know, I don't know if we're going to get another production deal. There's always people talking, and you never know who might pick it up or reboot it or whatever. But as far as we know, we're just going to do this last season here.
And we're constantly putting out. Yeah, we're constantly putting out fresh YouTube videos with some really cool stuff that we find all over the world too, as well. And that's anacondatreasure.com. I believe that's the right YouTube channel, right, Ringy?
Right. It's just the Anaconda Treasure YouTube channel. So if you want to, you can see full episodes. All of last season is on there, and all the quick hitters too, which are, just anywhere from 2 minutes to 10 minutes of whatever we're doing, wherever. Yeah. And they're, some of them are from Europe. I think we did one on the Silver Hoard that some of us were part of, finding over there, the medieval silver coins. And then I don't know if I did any. We haven't done anything with the Bronze Age axe head yet, but that'll be that's actually in one of the shows coming up this next season.
I was wondering, the hobby has grown tremendously, in our nation and other countries too, Europe, Australia, and the demand, of what on the sales of metal detectors and the people. I just thought maybe somewhere along the line that maybe they're going to start putting a show on regular. They got Curse of Oak Island. They haven't found too much of anything yet, but they're still trying. But my point is, they got a great. Yeah. They got a great following group. They do. I mean, we all watch it. At least I do. I mean, it's interested, and even though they don't find anything, we're still there wondering. Just like we do when we find it. What is it?
Exactly.
I just the hobby
that would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. We would really love it. We'd love to do it again. But like KG says, it's a ton of work and no sleep and insanity. I mean, it's almost impossible to describe how difficult it is to make a show like that and stay sane.
How many holes?
Obviously,
Tim, how many holes?
Succeed.
How many holes do you dig in one episode, one show? How many holes would you average to put a show before you found something that they would produce?
Oh man, before we ever get to a spot, they usually have 4 or 5 places lined up for us. And we, just like anybody that detects a lot, you get to a spot, you pretty much know within the first half hour or so if the ground's been bothered or if you're even going to find anything. A lot of times we will jump from place to place to place And then once we'll find that one area, that we start pulling out, time period stuff, I mean, it could happen the first day. We filmed, pretty much we knew we had a show in the bag on the first day. And then there's some days that we were scrimping and we were hunting hard from sunup to sundown. We were sick of even digging holes, So we worked big. Basically, we worked. It was 7 straight days for a 22-minute episode, and that wasn't counting all the, the pre-work or all the editing or anything. So it wasn't that easy, but I mean it's better than having a real job, But it was still a lot of work.
Yeah, I find it. I do detecting these woods here in the West Virginia, and I'll tell you, I've found so many mason jar leads that just about makes me sick. And the tree roots, you have to get through them to get to them. I just said, Jay, here we go again, But all right, guys, I just kind of wondered that. So I appreciate your information and enjoyed talking with you.
Hey, thanks for the call. Philip. Thanks for the call, Philip.
Okay.
And
all right.
By the way, the call-in number is 270-495-0315. Phone lines will be open after this commercial. If your passion is metal detecting, then you know how much your success is based on the equipment you use. Let my buddy Tim Henderson of Murray Branch Outdoors in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, help you with that. Tim is an authorized dealer of Garrett, XP Deus, and Macro detectors and supplies, and he is now an authorized dealer for MineLab. So if you're looking to get your hands on one of the new Equinox 600 or 800, then Tim's your guy. Murray Branch Outdoors is not only competitive in their prices, but the service after the sale is second to none. Tim not only sells detectors, he uses them, and so he can answer any question that you might have. Murray Branch Outdoors also deals in used detectors, and he'll take your old detector in on trade when you decide to upgrade. So give Tim Henderson of Murray Branch Outdoors a call at 615-948-4611 and be sure and tell him that Relics Radio sent you. And if you have detecting needs, call Tim Henderson with Murray Branch Outdoors. Good guy, good friend of ours. We hunt together all the time, and we stand behind Tim because Tim stands behind the things that he sells. Good conversations that we've had on the calls that have come in. One question that kind of popped in my mind: why do you think that you guys are so popular in Europe?
I'm probably because we're so out of control and unpredictable.
I would imagine so.
Yeah. No, I think either one of us, we're so easy to get along with, and we can go with the flow and adapt to so many different situations, And, I don't really have a big head. Tim kind of does. But, I don't know. It's just fun. We just make our jobs and our life and our hobby fun, and that's just kind of contagious.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah,
that's the way Seven and I do. We just have fun at it, and anybody we meet, we're just friendly to them like they are to us. So, that's just the way you got to be in the hobby. So, we've got a couple of questions in the chat here. It says, "Have you?" We've got one. Have y'all ever been on Oak Island yet?
No, we haven't.
A lot of people told us we need to go there. But I don't know. I've been waiting for them to invite us down there, but I don't know if they really want to find that treasure, because that's probably what we're going to do.
That's right. Seven and I talk about that all the time. It's like, well, if we go there, we're going to find it. So that's on the show. Yeah. And then the other one was, how do you get all your great permissions?
Well, when we had the show, National Geographic set up a lot of those, or almost all of them, for us, because there were a lot of places that we went that you normally aren't allowed to detect. They were protected sites or whatever. And, we got in there through National Geographic, and they had all the paperwork signed and everything before we ever showed up. So that was one real nice thing about that, is we get into these special places, and you know, some of them were so untouched, it was like taking candy from a baby. I mean, it'd make you sick if I told you some of the stories. You know, it's just stuff was everywhere because nobody had been there. You know,
but in another sense is we, you know, probably 90% of the places we were allowed on, we would have never been allowed on if we were keeping anything, you know. So all the stuff we found, we donated to the archives, our, you know, historians, or, you know, or the local museums, you know. So it's not like we just went in there and we just found all the stuff and we put it in our own box. We found so many things that we wanted to cry because we had to give it all up, you know. But that's okay. A lot of the stuff too was so important to the area we were in that, you know, we had no business keeping it, you know, for one. But so, you know, that it worked out.
We've got another caller on. Last four numbers are 0940. Who we got?
Hey, this is Lance from Mississippi. Hey, guys.
Hey, Lance.
Lance, hey, buddy.
How's it going,
How you
guys?
doing, Lance?
I'm good. Good, Tim. I just wanted to call in. I was fortunate enough to meet these guys several years ago, and I guess you could say maybe guided them on a hunt, Battle of Champion Hill here in central Mississippi when they were shooting shows on Nat Geo. And just got to be up there with them for a week and got to know them really well, and got to see the behind-the-scenes work that goes on. I know they were talking about that earlier of what goes on, how many holes they dig. I can tell you they dig. There's no telling how many holes they dug that week when I was with them. You know, we found some good stuff, and I've been fortunate enough to hunt with them a couple of more times since then down here in Mississippi, and at the Garrett hunt last year, the Memorial Hunt over in Texas, which is a great event, and hope to see them again there this year in March. But anyway, my son's been with me one time, and they just you know, they treat the kids great, and just wanted to call in and just say, hey guys, and just how much fun it's been to get to know you guys over the last few years, and what a great time we had that week at Champion Hill, and just seeing you guys work, and they do it right too, and they appreciate the history, and that's one of the things I really like about them.
Thanks for calling,
thank you,
man.
buddy.
So we got to get
Thank
together. Yeah, we got to get together again and do something, because you know,
yeah.
it's been a
Well,
while.
I plan on seeing you guys in March. So I plan on coming back to Texas for the Garrett Memorial Hunt. So
Awesome. Okay,
Yep,
cool.
it's funny now. Lance, you know, he was a, you know, associate that turned into one of our good friends, our best buddies, you know. But Lance didn't tell you also, like when we were on Champion Hill there, the site he set up, the governor of Mississippi, actual Phil Bryant, came out with his bodyguards and all that, and we actually got to teach Phil Bryant, the governor of Mississippi, how to metal detect, and he actually found some Civil War bullets, and they're in the, you know, they're in the governor's mansion there in Mississippi, which is pretty cool.
Right.
Wow.
Right. And there was also a belt plate recovered that week too. That's also up there on display in the Capitol. So that was great. Week, so. Yeah, but anyway, I'll get off the line, let some of these other guys ask some questions. But anyway, I'll be in touch, guys. Great to hear y'all.
Thank you, buddy.
Hey, Lance, appreciate the call.
Hey, yes, sir. Enjoy your show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Uh-huh.
Hey, I just remembered something. I got to say, just in case somebody's interested in this, I was helping somebody clean out their grandmother's attic the other day here in Arizona, and they were kind of getting rid of stuff and throwing stuff away. And there was this big box of albums, and most of them were all Slim Whitman albums, and they were going to throw them away. And I said, no, we should save those because I know a guy that might want some of those. So, you know, I've got them for you if you need them.
Yeah, got them for you. Slim Whitman fan. Yeah.
Are you really?
Well, we heard you were a Slim Whitman fan.
Yeah.
Oh, I go back a lot further than that, guys. I'm gonna tell you something. I tell everybody I was around whenever the Dead Sea was just sick. Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you who put me up to that.
I would never. I wouldn't either. I wouldn't throw him under the bus like that.
Yeah.
No, I would never do that.
We wouldn't throw Heath under the bus like that.
throw Heath under the bus.
Yeah, and we definitely don't want Seven to start singing.
No, you don't want that. Yeah, Heath was talking about something earlier today about songs and everything. He said what was playing whenever you were a kid, and he named off some of the old people and everything, and I said, hey, when I was a kid, there wasn't no music around except the Egyptian chants. And I said, you guys don't leave me alone. I'm fixing to do one on you.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all have talked about what you've done in the past. Let's talk about what your plans are for 2019.
All right.
Ooh, 2019 is going to be real busy, I think. You want to start out, Tim?
Yeah, sure. Well, yeah, I remember, 2017, we were pretty busy, and I remember looking at the 2018 schedule for this year and thinking, man, there's a lot of stuff going on, a couple trips to England, a couple different ones to Italy, all over the place. And I thought, it'll never get worse than that. There's no way. And we had a meeting about 3 weeks ago, and we're looking at our schedule for 2019, and it's absolutely insane. But the good news is like we've had a lot of people write in and say, how come you're always in Europe? You never do anything in the U.S. Well, this year we definitely have a couple bigger events scheduled in the U.S. And everybody knows we're going to be at the Charles Garrett Memorial Hunt next spring. That's in Texas. And but the weekend after that will be at the Sunshine Silver Hunt for the CFMBC. And that's in Florida. Is it Orlando?
Yeah, it's in Orlando.
Tampa Bay?
Yeah.
Orlando. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to be there. We get to go to Florida, and one that nobody really knows about yet, I don't think. We're going to be also in New England. We're going to be up at the Bone Hunt as well, Best of New England. So We're going to be there. So we definitely have some U.S. stuff, and then I think in the spring and the fall, as usual, we're going to be in England and Italy, both spring and fall, Netherlands,
Russia again.
We have and we're going to Moscow again this year. So it's so out of control, I can't even remember all of it. But we'll put it out there as soon as the dates are solidified and everything. But we'll definitely be at those U.S. hunts. So that'll be kind of fun because there's a lot of people we haven't seen for a while, especially out on the East Coast,
Yeah,
so
and I got an invite to the bone hunt last year. Heath and Butch Heath and Butch were going, invited me to go with them, and I just couldn't work it into my schedule. But I would love to go up there with Swansea Hunter and those guys up there. I mean, they've got a lot of history, as far as America goes. No, they don't have they don't have anything like Europe, but I mean, outstanding history there in New England. And talking about the Central Florida metal detecting gig that y'all have there, I think we've still got Mark Hoover on the line. Mark, you want to come and chime in on that?
Yeah. Hey guys, this is Mark here. How you doing?
Mark.
Hey, Mark. Good, buddy.
It's great hearing y'all tonight. Listen, you probably don't remember this. Well, I want to tell this story. I was up in Illinois last year at a hunt with Chuck Smalley and KG and Ringy were there, Tim and George, and it was a great time. But let me tell you something. For everybody out there, you do not want to do a seated hunt or a hunt with KG and Ringy. I'll tell you why. George stood next to me, and I'm telling you, they will knock you down. They will push you over. They will swing high and fast, and they will do everything they can to get those coins and relics and not let you get anything. So just make sure that if you're doing a hunt with them, you don't stand next to them.
But they will stop. They will stop and open your bottle with their shovel if you ask them.
That's right. That's right.
I remember that hunt distinctly. That one we did there with Chuck in outside of Moline somewhere. I remember that because I also hopped into the kids hunt and started pushing kids out of the way and stuff until I got thrown out.
Oh, no, wait a minute. I got to tell a story about that, too. Now, this is a true story, okay?
Oh, the other one wasn't?
No, they were worse. They were doing the kids hunt, and, of course, Tim and George were there. And there was a kid who, and this is what really got my attention. There was a kid there who had a pinpointer that probably didn't even work. I mean, I'd never even seen this pinpointer before. And I saw Tim look down at this kid with his pinpointer, walk by him, spin around, and drop a Garrett pinpointer into the kid's pouch. And I looked down and I said to the kid, I said, "Hey, you better check your pouch." And he looked back. He had a brand new Garrett pinpointer in his pouch, and his eyes just lit up. And this kid was so happy, and his family was happy. I'm telling you, these guys, Tim and George, when you're at a hunt with them, they interact with everybody. They sign autographs. They talk to everybody. They are the real deal. They're just like that. What you see on TV is what they're like in person, and they're friendly to everybody, and the kids absolutely love them. So that's the reason why I wanted to get them at our hunt here in Orlando, and we worked it out, and Garrett is stepping up, and we're gonna have them come out, and so we can't be more excited than to have KG and Ringy at our hunt coming up in Orlando.
Nice, thank you, buddy. That's nice. Yep.
Yeah, we are really excited to do that. In fact, I don't remember. I don't think we ever made a show in Florida. You know, we've been a lot of places, but I don't remember really ever doing much hunting in Florida at all. I mean,
well, that's
that's
not what that's not what you told me. You told me you got into metal detecting because metal detectors were chick magnets.
Now he can't say that. Yeah. You got married this year, didn't you, Tim? You kind of got to tone back a little bit now.
I did get married. Yeah. Well,
congratulations.
It's just yeah. But my magnetic personality, it doesn't. The magnetic field is still there. I still have to kind of push them away.
Yeah, but if you're going to do a show, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, if you're going to do a show in Florida, maybe we can work something out.
Yeah, heck yeah.
You were talking about like we go to the hunts like with Garrett and all that, and Tim and I are allowed to hunt with the people, and we love to interact and stuff like that. Like there was one guy walking around out there with the exact same metal detector I had, and he had nothing, and his settings were all messed up, and I fixed the settings for him, and he ended up finding a bunch of Civil War bullets. They were planted and stuff, but we're not allowed to actually find like tokens. If we find a token, what we have to do is we have to watch for people that are struggling, not finding much or having a hard time. And then our job is just kind of, drop a token in front of them and let them find it. So it works out well. I mean, but they give away some incredible stuff, which would be kind of cool to have, but I guess we're not allowed to win.
Yeah, that's like our metal detectors we give away. I'm not allowed to win one, so I'm like, hey, these are cool metal detectors.
Yeah.
And y'all were talking about Chuck Smalley a while ago. Chuck is a wonderful guy, and he's the one that started out that great Christmas giveaway that we got in, and we put up a metal I think that there were finally 7 metal detectors given away in that, and Barb Connell did a wonderful job of coordinating all of that. And we just got the picture today that Dennis sent us of his grandson who won that metal detector that we gave away. And there's no better feeling than to see the smile on a kid's face whenever, they get something, and you're introducing the next generation of metal detectorists, aren't you?
Yep, that's important. That's real important. Yep.
And there's no
Bob.
Go ahead.
Chuck Smalley, he is our buddy. Chuck is. He he'd do anything for us. We're always messing with him. When we were up there, he'd leave his phone laying around. We would steal his phone and take a bunch of inappropriate pictures on it and then stick it back there, and then he would find him and he'd yell and scream at us, Then we were stealing his gold nuggets out of his little pouch he had there one time, and we about had him, had a nervous breakdown a couple times, but it was all in good fun.
He is really awesome. In fact, he and his buddy Dave helped us set up when the new season of Digging with KG and Ringy, the new shows come out this spring. The Iowa show that we did there, they were responsible for setting up all the sites for us, and then there was an Iowa, Kansas show that's going to be there too. So half of the sites from that show they helped us do as well. So they get big props for that. They really helped us out on that one.
Yeah, Chuck just said, I'm holding them pictures for ransom.
And we had Chuck on as a guest here just recently, and just a great guy. Never have had the opportunity to meet him. I hope to change that this next year, but never had a chance to meet him. Hey, guys, we need to take another break real quick, and we'll be right back. If you want to keep up with what's going on in the metal detecting world, then you need to be a subscriber to American Digger magazine. Butch and Anita Holcomb are the publishers of the magazine and have won awards for 3 straight years for being the best digger magazine on the market. American Digger magazine is available in both print and digital formats, so no matter where you live in the world, you can enjoy the latest happenings in the hobby. You can get in touch with American Digger magazine by going to americandigger.com or give them a call at 770-362-8671. And be sure and tell them that you heard it on Relics Radio. And by the way, a reminder, we've been waiting for a few months now, but the new issue of American Digger magazine, which is online, has my article on the Great Silver Horde with Jeff Ford, Wes Stringer, and Chris Heimsoff. And the hard copy will be out soon, I hope, so give that a look as well. Hey, guys, we're going to have to set up some kind of contest where we can give away this Relics Radio hoodie from detectees.com, and I think here's what we're going to do. The shovel that KG and Ringy have, it's an Anaconda 36-inch shovel with a T-handle with the bottle opener on it, too, suitable for every redneck. Give us the official name of that shovel. It is letters and a number is what we're looking for. And the first person that can do that, we're going to give you a Relics Radio hoodie and compliments of detectees.com. Now, how's that?
That's pretty good.
That is a great deal.
They're already starting to come in, Jeff. Can you see them there?
Let's see. My chat just locked up.
The one that I'm looking for, yeah, they really started flying in. Sue Roberts had the NX6, and then Ohio Relic Hunter had the NX5 and 6. I was looking for NX5, but KG and Ringy, you guys are going to have to you're going to have to tell us which one of those is the NX6.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Well,
well, they're both. NX5 we started out with, and then we made the NX6 in the longer version with a more beefy handle.
So
they're both
really,
right,
you said 36-inch. You said the 36-inch, not the 31-inch. So
right.
That would be the NX6.
Okay.
Actually.
Okay. All right, then Sue Roberts is our winner. Hey, Sue, send me a Facebook message. We had Sue on as a guest this year, I guess. Mm-hmm. So you know how to contact me. Send me your information, your size, shirt or hoodie that you want. And by the way, you need to get a size up on those where you can wear, a shirt or something under it. Works for me, but you can get any size that you want. And I suggest that you get the military green. They are the nicer ones, I think. Don't show dirt as bad as the gray one does. But you get a hold of me, and that's what we'll do. And congratulations to you, and thank you, Ken and Mark Guthrie with DetectTees.com.
Woo! Good job.
Yeah, good job. How's that?
Hey, Roy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Mark again. I'm going to have to drop off here, but I was wondering if I could give a shout-out to somebody.
Sure.
So, we were all talking about Christmas earlier, and we've all had a great time. And I think sometimes, though, this is a time of year where people, they might have health issues or they may be struggling or financial or whatever. So I just want to say, to the people out there that, we are just thinking about you and praying about you or praying for you. And I just want to give a shout out to Brent. I know, Brent, you're going to be listening to the show, and KG and Ringy reached out and called him earlier tonight. It was very gracious of them to do that. We really appreciate that. But Brent, I know you're going to be listening, so I just want to say from everybody here at Relics Radio, we just want to give you a shout out tonight. So, buddy, just hang in there. We're all with you.
How true. Hey, Brent, our thoughts and our prayers are with you, buddy. And look forward to meeting you and hunting with you someday as well. And thanks to KG and Ringy for taking out time before the show and calling and talking to Brent. We were just fooling about. We couldn't find them. We knew exactly where they were. They were doing what they do, sharing themselves with others. And, that's what life is really all about, isn't it, guys?
It really
is. Yes, sir. Yes, it is.
And we've got another caller on the line, Miss Barb. What's going on, Barb?
Hey, how are you?
We're doing good, and we've got another one coming on that I'm going to put on hold, 2431. But you go ahead, Barb.
I just wanted to warn, watch out for you guys, because they can rope you into just about anything without you realizing.
I have no idea where this is going. But
yeah. So how'd your Christmas go, Barb?
Well, when it's like, hey, we want to give this big Christmas metal detecting giveaway, and where's Barb? Is she going to call in so she can do this for us?
Yeah, that was you did a wonderful job on that thing, and we were so fortunate to be able to be a part of that. And then we got the picture of that metal detector, which wasn't the one that we got the picture of today. That was, and I can't remember. Chloe was the little girl's name, I think, that won that. And
Chloe.
Yeah, Chloe. Yeah.
Oh no, Zoe. Sorry, Zoe.
Zoe. I'm an old man. You know better than to listen to me. Don't listen to what I say. Listen to what I meant to say. Yeah, but thank you, Barb, for doing all of that for us.
No problem. It's just if you're going to rope me into it next year, we better plan earlier and not, hey, why don't we do this? And it's November 15th.
Hey, let me tell you something other. I wasn't the one that said that. Chuck Smalley was the one that said
that.
I
said that. This is Chuck on the phone.
Hey, Chuck.
Hey, Chuck. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. I set the hook on her, and she ran with it.
Yes, she did. I tell you what.
She did.
And she did a great job, and that was a great thing that a great plan that you had, and it all came together, and we were so happy to be a part of it.
Wasn't that fun? And I couldn't think of anybody better than Barb to take it by the horns and run it down the road. That's all there was to it.
Barb is the kind of person that can make people do stuff that they don't want to do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Hey,
it was fun, and we gave away 5 detectors to 5 kids, and so, and if you go, you guys could even join the page, the Great Christmas Metal Detecting Giveaway for 5 to 15-year-olders. And we gave silver coins, we gave it, you name it, we gave it. And so I estimate there was about 40, 42 very happy kids that got things they wouldn't have otherwise.
Yep.
That's excellent.
Yep. And that is why when we first start our show, in the disclaimer at the first of the show, we tell you we've got a family-friendly show because we've got a lot of young people that listen to our show. Miss Emily Copeland, I seen that her dad was on, and I'm sure that Emily listened to at least part of the show before she had to go to bed, or she may still be up. But, yeah, we've got a lot of young people, and we cater to them, and we certainly don't want to put out anything on the air, that would be offensive, because we want to hold those young people up, don't we, Chuck?
No, we don't. Barb, I can't thank you enough for what you did, and everybody that donated, and you guys here on Relics Radio. It was phenomenal. And if we can, next year, Barb, we'll try it, get it started on November 15th.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it does. Hey, have either one of y'all got questions for KG and Ringy tonight?
What?
Barb, you got any?
Of course I do.
Well, you hit them.
What is the best find you ever found on your own, not with your TV people lining you up?
Oh man, that's a hard one. I have so many, but there's several cool ones. But one thing I that I found was really cool is in Montana. I was at an old rock foundation, and I pulled out a little tiny capsule-looking thing, and I pried it open, and there was a solid silver St. Christopher statue in there. About an inch tall. I mean, stuff like that. Just kind of, I always love that better than coins.
Man, that's a great fun.
What about you, Ringy?
Yeah. So did I have to be all by myself, or just not with the TV show?
I think just not with the TV is what she was asking.
Oh, okay. Man, that is difficult.
Besides Carlotta.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's just so many things. Like, we were not with the TV show in England, and the last 3 trips I took to England, I know KG's sick of me babbling about this, but I just, all 3 trips, I ended up finding something just amazing. One trip was a medieval papal bulla off of a document from Rome. It's a big lead seal with a couple of saints on it from Pope Pius II, I think. And that went into the museum there in Shropshire. And the next trip, I found a 900 BC Bronze Age axe head, which is in perfect condition, and shamed the 2 that were in the museum already. So and then the most recent trip, I found a gold and silver Celtic coin from 50 BC. So I don't know. I mean, those are all pretty good, I think.
Man, you still hunt with this guy? Jesus.
Well, I didn't want to say all this. I wanted to keep it, within the U.S. I didn't want to try to make people that can't ever go to Europe feel bad, Tim.
Yeah, sorry. Well, I used my shovel twice, and I couldn't help myself.
Man, I'm on the way to England tomorrow.
Oh man, I'd love to go there. It would be a dream come true to go and detect in that old history ground like that. Because ever since I was just a kid, anybody that is interested in history or treasure or anything like that, you were just mesmerized by the thought of the pyramids in Egypt and all the Roman history and all that, And to have the opportunity to go to some of those places and scan the ground and see what you could dig out of it with your own hands, it just be a dream come true for me.
It would be
fascinating.
When we're in Europe, they laugh at us because we'll pull up coins from the 15 and 1600s, and we're all excited, yelling and screaming and, patting each other on the back. and they're laughing at us, and they're like, "You guys, that's like brand new stuff to us." They're telling us. They said, "If you guys want to find stuff like that, just go over to the ditch because we throw handfuls of them out every day." I mean, after we're done detecting, he says, "We just throw that crap in the ditch." We're like, "What are you doing?"
That's funny. Tim Henderson on the comment section, I found the 1880 Indian head. So.
Yeah, and I guess the 1500 stuff, that's their stinking Lincolns, ain't it?
It basically
it's kind of like,
you
it's like finding if you find something like that, I would imagine it's kind of like finding a silver Roosevelt dime or something, which is, it's awesome. You always like it, but it's not seeded. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
So,
go ahead.
Yeah.
The things you guys find over there, what they don't keep, how long does it normally take to get it?
Oh man, it could take up to a year or so.
It's a year.
Yeah, it's been over a year for one of my things that, I mean, my first batch of stuff over there, it's been over a year, and they're still working on it, but, they get real busy and stuff. And I think you can pay extra money to have it expedited or whatever, but it's like, to me, it was like, it'll show up when it shows up, I guess,
Yeah, it's like a whole new find again once you get it in like 5 years. It's like, oh, I forgot about this. Hey, KG, you remember this? I remember that.
And we had Jocelyn on last week, and she was talking about that she had some stuff, that was still being reviewed and hadn't gotten back from being over there.
Right. Don't get us wrong. I mean, we love going to Europe, and stuff, and finding that old stuff. But, sometimes just getting out with, a couple of buddies, or Tim and myself, or people here in Kansas I live around, just getting out and just hitting an old site, and finding wheat pennies and maybe an Indian head penny. I mean, it's pretty awesome. I mean, I still get super excited about it. Sometimes when we're in Europe for 3 weeks and we're digging almost every day, I get home and I don't even want to look at my metal detector. And then, a couple of weeks will go by, and I'll be like, man, I need to get back out there, So, I mean, we love the U.S. We love digging here, too.
Yeah,
I got to say one thing about that. I agree 100%. And, this, to some people, this may sound insane, but we found enough medieval coins and stuff, and especially the ones that, aren't silver and stuff. If you... to me, digging something like a seeded dime, which I think the last one I found was a DIV a couple years ago, because I've been gone so long and I just haven't been anywhere where they are. But, I mean, if I find one of those, I am easily as excited or more excited than finding a medieval coin. And I know some people would say, oh, you're crazy for that. But to me, I just happen to love the 1800s in that era and what the coins look like. So, I mean, to me, that's
Tim will have a handful of hammered, corroded medieval coins, and he goes, I would trade this whole handful of medieval coins for one seeded dime in the U.S. And I'm thinking, you're crazy.
Well,
we can hook that up. I'll tell you what, I've got a good one laying right here.
Yeah,
but I mean,
walk in front of us and throw them in the ditch. We'll find them.
But you do have to look. You have to look at it. That is American history, the seeded dime, and then of course the rest of it is not. So.
Yeah.
Well,
so
makes you think of the Wild West.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's
over there, they're everywhere.
And there's
up here, if you find a coin in a field, it's a good discovery. If you just find one coin in a field up there, they've been losing stuff for thousands and thousands of years. There's stuff everywhere up here. I mean, it's a good feeling to find just an 1800s coin.
Yeah, it is. And we're fortunate enough that we hunt a lot of Civil War sites here. And I know that there's a lot of people that would give anything to find an eagle button or a mini ball or something like that. And when we go out, and we hit a good site, we just find them everywhere. And you get tired of digging them. And so I can understand where you're coming from, But seeded coins are hard to find, and cap bust. I've only got a handful of cap bust because we hunt old sites, and those coins you got the possibility that they're there. Still looking for a gold coin, but either one of y'all ever found a gold coin?
Yeah, we found one in New Orleans on one of our shows.
I remember that. Yeah.
But that was under the sidewalk, wasn't it? Or under
it was
that was a
near
little
a sidewalk.
little tiny area that these guys were renovating. Well, supposedly during Hurricane Katrina, there was a couple of chickens that ended up in these guys' backyard. And the chicken would scratch around in the only spot that they hadn't renovated, and they would go out there and feed this chicken. And one day the guy went out there to feed the chicken, and he seen something shining on the ground. He reached down, and it was a 1853 New Orleans gold coin, little tiny one. And the guy was like, "Holy crap, this is crazy." So they heard we were in the area, and they ended up getting hold of the producer. Someone knew somebody, and we went in there, and I'll be dang if we didn't find another one in there. It wasn't New Orleans, was it, Tim? What was it?
No, it wasn't. It was just a filly, but it was the common one. They found one that was worth like $8,000 or something, and the one we found was just a regular filly, 1853. But I mean, how can you be sad about that?
Yeah, that's right.
Our first gold coin.
Right.
And then right next to it, within 2 or 3 feet, was an 1857 seated half dime. And then the show, I think those were both on the show, but the show was only 22 minutes, and what it didn't show was crazy enough. In that little tiny area, we also found a large cent, a ring, and some old button, and all that stuff was in the same area, but there was so much stuff we didn't even show it all on the show. It was, I was just shocked.
I remember that was a little house, and it just was a little side yard that y'all were hunting in, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. Tiny little area. Yep, and that was one of those places when we showed up in the cars and we got our equipment out and we walked through the entryway and we looked at the back. It's like, you're kidding, right? We just wanted to go back to the hotel. It was like, this is a complete waste of time. And of course, you should never judge a book by its cover, because that turned out to be completely awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say.
Yep. It was funny. Go ahead.
Treasure's just where you find it. So.
Yeah, go ahead, KG.
When we were done filming and doing our display on the table, the people that own the property, they looked over at us and they said, "You guys can keep that coin." So we got to actually keep that little gold coin. It was funny because Tim and I were like, who's going to get the coin? I want the coin. And Tim's like, I want the coin. So what we did is we ended up flipping that little gold coin, and I ended up winning it. So I got to save him. So Tim, he had to go buy one just like it, so that he would feel like he had accomplished something. I guess, I don't know.
And you would know, Tim, that KG would want to tell that story, wouldn't he?
Yeah, exactly. That was pretty sad. But I've got my little.
Well, I got a question for you, fellas.
Go ahead, Chuck.
And when you coming back to Illinois?
I don't know.
Soon.
I don't know. We're just filling up so
I know you
fast
are.
right
I know you are. Well, Dave Fountain was talking to me the other day, and he said, if I got a hold of you, he's got something else for you up there. And he explained what it was. I won't get here, but he's got a different spot for you, a different location, and he said he wants to get you back up there. So that's my question.
When's the best time? Springtime, right?
Usually spring. Yeah.
All right, we'll try to do something.
Keep that on mind.
Yeah, and just don't leave your phone laying around with Chuck laying around.
And I hope, and I've been kicking this around. I might come down and sign up for the hunt with Mark and the club down there, just to watch you give Mark the same treatment that I got.
Oh, we would
that'll
never
take a
do
lot
that
of pressure
tomorrow.
off him. Yeah. That'll take a lot of pressure off him if you show up, Chuck.
And I do want to say one thing. You guys are two of the best emissaries for our hobby that we have out there today, and I appreciate that. And I promise I won't ever leave my phone lay around and my keys for my truck out and different things like that, because you guys are like two little kleptos. Everything disappears. and Loy, you can't trust them. And if I do that, Loy, I will come down through early and hook up with you and Jeff. I want to hunt with you guys.
Hey, we want you to.
Awesome.
Sure do. Sure.
And get down there and do that, because I was going to go down in February and hook up with Mark and Gary Drayton, but Gary's got some commitment now, and so does Jill, my wife. So I'm looking at, I can probably make the run down there, do the hunt, shoot back up, because end of April I'm off to Italy and other places. So hopefully do some hunting there. In fact, I know we're going to do some hunting in there.
Well, we'll be in Virginia at DIV the last week of March, and that's the only commitment other than January 5th and 6th. We're supposed to be in South Carolina at the Low Country Show there. So those are the only two commitments that we've got. But yeah, Chuck, shoot us.
That would be great. And gentlemen, we appreciate what you do. Tennessee, Jeff and Loy, you guys got a great show here too. And the two guests you got on, I kind of look at them with a view of keeping them out about arm's length from my equipment.
Appreciate it, Chuck.
Thanks for the heads up.
Yes, sir. When you're down there, everybody, you'll have a blast. There's no way around it. And hey, fellas, where are we watching you at this next year? Is it all? Are we on Pursuit anymore or not?
No, it'll be on diggintv.com.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Diggintv.com.
Yep. You can see all the shows there now from last season if you want. It's all free. They just pop it right into our YouTube channel from there. So just remember either diggintv.com or anacondatreasure.com. Either one will get you there.
All right, cool. We'll get to see that, and we had a lot of fun with you out in Iowa, and Dave's still talking about you. So I'll get out of here. Gentlemen, have a great night, and you run a good show, Loy and Jeff and KG and Ringy, and have a great night.
Hey, thanks, Chuck, for the call.
Hey, see you, Chuck.
Be safe.
Happy New Year, buddy.
Hey, boys.
Yep.
Happy New Year to you all. Bye.
Hey, Barb, did you have another question before we close here?
First of all, I didn't know you were going to be at DIV in March, so I'm happy.
Yes.
Because I'll be there.
I know you will.
And I am upset because since I started DIV, the only one I missed was the one that KG and Ringy went to.
Oh man, we need to go back to that. We got to get back. We got to do that DIV. That was a blast.
I hunted with Michael at Coles Hill, and I think it was either one or two after that. It's the only one I missed. And when I seen you guys were going, I went, I could kill them. I thought, this is the 10th one, and they go to the one I missed.
And how weird is that? Because that's the only one we've been to,
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Barb, it was funny. Everybody was looking. All of a sudden, here comes this little bitty car pulling up, and who gets out of it? KG and Ringy gets out of this little bitty car.
We couldn't afford a limo. They don't pay us enough to rent a limo. We had to go with the little economy car.
Yeah.
I totally understand. DIV costs a lot of money. But I hunted with Nugget Noggin. He's a trip. And I've hunted with Loy and TJ. So, yes, if you're going to go back, make sure, and Bill Hayes is going, I was there. Thanks, Bill. Rub it in a little more. If you go, I expect to hear from Loy that you're going so I don't miss it again.
Okay. If I get a heads up on it, I will. And
you just let him know, and he'll call me and tell me, hey, they're going to be at the next one, and I'll make sure I'm there.
Okay. Hey, we appreciate the call. We got one more that has come in. Celeste has come in. What's going on, Celeste?
Hello, Celeste.
Hi, how are you?
We're great.
I was in Kansas last year, and I went to a ghost town called Irving, and I wanted to ask the boys if they had ever detected there.
If you found anything, we did.
Have you ever been there, KG?
I have never heard of it. Irving? No.
Irving.
No, I can't say I have. I'm in southeastern Kansas. I did a little bit around here, but no, never there.
Oh, boy. Well, apparently there's a story behind it, but
Well, we lost Celeste some way. Anyway, Celeste is going to be, she's part of that Central Florida Metal Detecting Club, so you'll get to meet her whenever you get down there. And we've held you guys for an hour and a half now, or close to it. So is there anything that you guys want to add before we close the show out? Tell everybody how they can get in touch with you and what to watch for and what have you.
We're still at anacondatreasure.com, and our Facebook page is Digging with KG and Ringy, and we also have another Facebook page that mirrors that. That's Anaconda Treasure. So you can always find out what we're up to mainly through our Facebook pages, and those are usually up to date, within the minute or whatever, and you can always contact us through there if you have questions or whatever, and we'll always post our schedules and what we're doing there. So that's where you can get links to our videos and whatever you want to do through there. And so anything you can think of, KG?
Nope. I mean, I just want to thank everybody for the, welcome they've given us all. It's been a great ride, and hopefully it continues, and hopefully we'll do more in the U.S., here, and we could, get together with more of you guys.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, look forward to hooking up maybe this next year or in the near future. Carlotta is going to be our guest on February the 7th, and Mark Hoover had the brilliant idea, which I really like, that we're going to have all-female guests in February. So we've got Carlotta lined up, and we've got Gypsy Jewel lined up right now, and I don't know who else for February, but looking forward to that show as well.
Yeah, they sound like nice girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty nice girls, and I'm looking forward to having a whole month with just talking to the ladies. That's going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Everything she says about Tim is true.
Oh, I imagine so. And I would say that we'll probably get a surprise call or two during that show, won't we, Tim?
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe you call in. Hey, guys, thank you so much for coming on with us tonight and spending time with us. And we love you guys, love watching you get out there and with all of your craziness and what you find and everything. And you're great ambassadors for the hobby, and we thank you for that.
We sure do.
Thank you guys, too.
Yeah. And how many hips have y'all broke doing the cartwheels and all the flips?
Oh, much harder.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's getting harder and harder to do that. But
yeah,
we've hurt ourselves pretty bad a couple times.
When you get my age, you get smart enough that cartwheels are out of the question. So it's coming to you.
Yeah. No, I did one. Yeah. I did one time, but it was on accident.
Yeah. But anyway, thanks, guys, for coming on tonight, and we wish you Godspeed in 2019.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Thank you, buddy.
Too. Thanks.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and, Jeff, you got anything to say before we close everything out?
Just thank everybody in the chat and everybody that's called in, and hope everybody has a safe and happy New Year.
I'll second that. And if you like podcasts like this, be sure and check out Beyond Sight and Sound on Monday night with Josh Kimball. On Sunday and Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. On Monday night, it's All Metal Mode at 8 o'clock, and also American Digger Relic Roundup at 9 o'clock Eastern. And then on Tuesday night is History Seekers at 9 o'clock Eastern. On Thursday and Saturday, Hardcore Metal Detecting has a podcast each of those nights at 8 o'clock Eastern. And XP Team USA is having a podcast now every other Friday night. And obviously, We're going to be here again next Thursday at 8 o'clock with some more good announcements, more fantastic giveaways. You won't believe it. Be here. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Relics Radio. We really do appreciate it. Be sure and join us live each Thursday night at 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern here on Spreaker. Or you can catch the archive show at Relics Radio on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, or iTunes. Please take a minute and hit the like button and be sure and follow us so that you'll get notifications of all of our upcoming broadcasts. You can also find us on YouTube at Digging with Seven or Tennessee Jeff, or you can check us out on our Relics Radio Facebook page. If you'd like to get in touch with us, then send an email to diggingwith7@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. We hope you'll join us next Thursday night, and until then, get out there and dig some history.